Hello, Rough Rider Nation, and welcome to this edition of the Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm Brad Clifford, the athletic director here at Yavapai College, and I'm joined today with two of our coaches, our spring sport coaches. I'm joined by Doug Eastman, our head softball coach here on my right, and head baseball coach Ryan Kogel here on my left. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it was a highly successful season for both the softball team and the baseball team. The Rough Rider softballers finished the season in second place in the ACCAC Division I standings with a 37-11 record and an overall record of 46-14. The baseballers finished in third place in the ACCAC standings with a 24-14 league record and a 37-19 overall record. Both teams qualified for postseason play. The run ended way too soon. We both know that. But each had a nice run into the playoffs. Doug, we're going to start with you a little bit. So first of all, let's get this out of the way. You're tied for the most wins in Yavapai College history as softball coach, so congratulations there. We missed that one game, though.
Yeah, we couldn't get that last one.
That last one we were wishing for.
That was a tough one, yeah.
So 226 wins. You're tied with Stacy Iverson. So next year, first win. Hopefully that first win's that first game.
You would
We're going to try to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your initial thoughts of the season here?
Well, I mean, when you look at the 46 wins, that's good. But we didn't play great against Division I programs this year, Brad, and that's a little disappointing. We dominated the D2s, which we should. So when you look at it all, I mean, we had some great individual outings with some of our players. But as a whole, I was pretty disappointed on how it ended. We didn't really put up much of a fight in postseason, and that's something that we got to do better of
next year, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, what about your initial thoughts about the season?
I was a little bit more pleased. I felt like we had overachieved at times with the situations of the uncontrollables in preseason, and then obviously the first 28 games of the season. So I was really happy with this group. Obviously, there's different definitions of success. It was a successful year from a lot of different standpoints. I'm sure you'll get into, but obviously unsuccessful from where we wanted to end up, and ended up getting beat by a good Central Arizona team who's still playing. So that's always disappointing when you feel like you could switch spots with them and still be on a bus in the middle of May. But all in all, really, really love this group.
It was a good group, and they battled a lot of adversity, and that was, of course, the uncontrollables you were just talking about. The field situation, the weather situation for both groups here, obviously here in Prescott. So I really thought your kids, baseball kids, and the softball kids, had to overcome a lot to achieve the kind of winning percentage that we had this year.
Yeah, I think the way that they overcame it is they didn't use it as an excuse. Now we can sit back and reflect and go, well, what if, wish. But in the moment, we certainly had a different attitude, and we didn't care whether, I've mentioned before, we were in a parking lot or on a baseball field.
Or in the gym.
Or in the gym. Yeah. Or underneath a roof somewhere. But, to answer your question, the way they overcame it and overcame that adversity was they didn't use it as an excuse.
Right. So we had a lot of standouts on both sides. Softball, you had a number of standouts, mostly freshman-dominated teams for both of you. But we had a lot of standouts. Your sophomores, Brianna and Kylie. You had a freshman, Shaylee Alani. You had your pitcher, Shea Pinner, who did a nice job for you. What can you tell us about that? Now, they were named all conference and all region. And of course, we're looking for All-American status here shortly. But what can you say about your individual players?
Well, I mean, when you look at Kylie Brown, I really thought she should have been Player of the Year with those kind of stats and being a catcher. The wear and tear of a catcher and hitting 18 home runs and leading the country in her position in home runs and RBIs. She had almost close to 500 in league play. What a fantastic player she was, and a team captain and a great representative of what.
And by the way, she's the Yavapai College Student Athlete of the Year as well, as voted on by the coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody that knows Kylie, she's just very approachable. She always comes to practice with the right attitude, and we're going to miss her a ton. Brianna Griffiths at shortstop, back-to-back 15 home run seasons, which is good numbers for a shortstop for sure, and she's going to have a lot of success. We're really going to miss Brianna. She's another team leader and a team captain that we're going to miss. And then Shaylee Alani, I mean, wow, what can you say about this young lady? I mean, left-handed hitter, plays second base, hit .498, hit 18 home runs, had a ton of doubles. hits the ball everywhere. I mean, left field, right field. You can't pitch her any specific way. She could have easily been player of the year. And if you had a newcomer or a freshman player of the year, it would have been a no-doubter with her. And to get her back to see what she can do in year 2, boy, that's going to be really exciting.
I didn't mention Nina Pangolina, who had a nice, quiet year for you, but it was a real nice year. She had a big time walk-off home run against Eastern Arizona in that 2-1 game or 3-2 game, whatever it was. And so she had a nice year as well.
Well, Nina, she plays center field. She's going to be great for Oregon Tech where she's going, and she's dangerous whenever she's up there. We had her at the top of the lineup. I thought she got a little bit stiff with taking too many pitches. She wasn't letting her talent go, so we put her down the 6th spot to where she could be more aggressive and try to drive in runs, and I thought that helped her in the second half of the season. But with Nina and Meredith, Meredith battled some injuries through the year, but she helped us at times, and those 4 sophomores are going to be deeply missed.
Deeply missed.
Yeah.
But a lot to look forward to with the freshmen coming back.
Absolutely. Holy cow, I couldn't be more excited. And we're not talking about everybody. Bama at third base, she
hurt her hand in the Mesa game, and that was not even halfway through the season.
Not even halfway through the season, and she was leading our team in RBIs and home runs at that point.
Right.
So to get her back, and some of the newcomers coming in, and I'm excited for next year, Brad. Really am.
Good. Looking forward to it. Speaking of Player of the Year, we have the ACCAC Player of the Year, the 9th time that a Yavapai College player has been named Player of the Year. He joins the likes of Billy Hatcher, of Trevor Moat, of Kyle Blanks. I mean, he joins a pretty good crew there, and that's Christian Encarnacion Strand. So talk to us about him a little bit.
He deserves to be in that crew. I mean, he's a good player. Didn't do much with him. He showed up and made some adjustments. He got a platform and the freedom to go out and do what he does and be athletic. And the nice thing about Christian is he's as good of a leader. He's as good of a teammate. He's as good of a person as he is a player, which is pretty tough to do because he's a really good player. Yeah. So he's the kind of guy that you're kind of rooting for.
Yeah. Now you kind of moved him around a little bit. He went from 3rd in the lineup, 2nd in the lineup, to 1st in the lineup. He played 3rd. He played 1st. I mean, you moved him around a lot of places.
Yeah, it got to the point where, as soon as he showed some consistency, the first few games of the year, you thought he was going to be all right. But after he started hitting a home run about every 10 or 12 at-bats, you're thinking, how can you get him 10 or 12 more at-bats? Right. So, yeah, it steadily went to 3-2 to 1, and they're at the last couple of weeks of the season. And that's Christian. He doesn't care what's in front of his name.
And let me just chime in here a little bit, because Shaylee and Christian are almost the same mold, that you can't ever tell whether they're down or they're up. They just kind of stay positive the whole time and even kill the whole time. I mean, just great kids, great kids in the classroom, great kids all around.
Yeah, I mean, he's as fierce a competitor as there is, and when he knows how to have an outlet for his frustration. So you all aren't going to see it. Obviously, we'll see it. We'll see it in the clubhouse. We'll see it in the corner of the dugout. His teammates will see it. But, again, as good a teammate as there is, and certainly the headline of probably our season from an individual player standpoint. But after Christian, then you're looking at 23 other cogs in the wheel that you could spend an hour talking about.
Well, and you had a couple. Let's just mention a few of them. Tommy Sacco, Matt Novus were named first team all conference.
Right.
Matt being a freshman, pitcher and fielder. Then you also had Trey Morrill, who had just an outstanding year on the mound there. And then Gianni Tomasi, I thought, had a very nice year, and they were both named second team all conference.
Yeah, those are voted on by coaches.
Right.
I can't vote for those, not for our own players. And so that means a lot when you have that many people voted on. That's a lot of respect. And I think, Chaney Ortiz is another one that, probably he didn't get the accolades. You were talking about a softball player that didn't get the accolades, but certainly important. Really proud of Gianni, though. I mean, that's a guy that came a long way and just shows kind of what the program's about with the growth between the freshman and sophomore year.
And you talk about the all-around player here a little bit. We had some great all-around efforts in the classroom and on the field for both teams. Doug, you had every one of your players were named to the Yavapai College Athletic Director's Honor Roll, and that's a 3.0 or higher. So to me, that's almost impressive, if not more impressive than what they did on the field.
Well, that's what it's all about, Brad. And we talk weekly about the importance of academics. We do grade checks constantly. We have, team study halls, all these kind of things. In the end, academics is where it's at. I mean, you can have all the ability in the world, but you got to have that by your side to go to the next level. So we really talk about that. I'm proud of that fact. and to have a team GPA of close to 3.5, I believe it was really close to there, is very, very satisfying.
And both teams were 3.0 or higher. Again, yours was about 3.5, almost 3.1 for baseball. So both teams did a great job in the classroom. You had a number of kids, 14, I think I'm 14 the listed higher. Over half of your student athletes were listed at a 3.0 or higher.
Yeah.
Just did a great job in the classroom.
Yeah, the GPA is certainly important, but all of our sophomores are going to go on and transfer to a four-year school, and that's something that I think personally I take pride in. That's probably my priority, my focus is making sure they're going on to bigger and better things, and this group is. So this group was a good measuring stick for all past groups, future groups. They set the bar right where we want it.
And I think all sophomores, both teams, all sophomores graduated from Yavapai College.
Correct.
And are, like you said, going on to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Recruiting is always the name of the game. Here we go. We're going into the summer here. Are we done with recruiting, or is recruiting continuing?
Well, for us, it is continuing. We have it done for the most part. There's probably 2 more players I would like to bring in. We have a pitcher coming to visit June the 8th that could be a real difference maker for us, so hopefully we can land that one. But recruiting's gone really well. We got a lot of new faces coming in. I think we're going to bring in 9 or 10 new faces. Every year you have to analyze your roster and make changes. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to some athletes that I don't think is necessarily a great fit for what we're trying to achieve. But we got a lot of new faces. We got some great players coming back. I like where we're at, Brad. I'm really confident that we're bringing in the players that can make a difference. Yeah.
Good. Brian, how about you?
Yeah, the foundation's strong. Obviously, a lot of returners, 2-3 guys there on all conference. That's important, but I think you're probably just every year trying to retool instead of rebuild.
Right.
So this is a good process where we're just retooling. Freshmen maybe that didn't have the year they wanted are going to go play summer ball and come back. So it's almost like you're recruiting a new player there. And then as far as the class goes, it's as good a class as we've had, and it usually is right about now. So we got to hold on to it.
Right. Things can happen in the summer, right?
Got to hold on to it.
That's great.
I want to piggyback on that. One of the things that outsiders or fans might not see, I think Ryan and I can clearly say that at one point every single year we're national contenders with our recruiting class.
Right.
And boy, we put it on the board, and we're licking our lips, and it's looking great, and we got all this pitching depth and all this, and then it shrinks, and they make different decisions late in the game, and it can be frustrating for us, but we know what it takes to get to the national tournament. We know what it takes to be successful. It just sometimes the pieces don't stay in your house as long as you would like them to be. But right now, and he speaks well of his recruiting. I like where mine's at right now. If we could start tomorrow, we'd be in good shape. Yeah.
Well, and things do change over the summer, particularly with Division I's that come in and need players because they lost some kids. Baseball, you've got the draft coming along. So really, you're not done until after the draft, which could lead right up until school starts in August. And the same thing with losing Division I players at particular positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said it both ways. It helps us and it hurts us. It's bittersweet. So it helps us in a sense that those kickbacks out there are numerous, kickbacks being Division I transfers. And if you want to be competitive in junior college, those are guys that you probably need to bring in. And, of course, it hurts you because you got a third baseman that doesn't quite know what he's going to do yet. He could be returning or not. And you got a couple pitchers that way. So it's a bittersweet thing, but, hey, it's part of the process, and you just got to figure out how to navigate it.
Well, and our jobs here, and we've talked about this a number of times, is to get the kids on to the next level, no matter what that is.
For sure.
Whether it be professional, whether it be college.
Yeah.
But we want them to move on. And what the kids have done this year in the classroom and on the baseball field and the softball field is a tribute to you guys, and we appreciate what you've done. Okay, I want to end with this, and it's not on the. So this is news to you guys. You haven't seen. I do want to know what are the needs for Yavapai College softball? What are the needs for Yavapai College baseball? And when I'm talking about that, fundraising is a big part of our job, especially at junior college. We are well taken care of by Yavapai College. They do a great job, but there's always those holes. What is one wish list if you had that you at the top of your list? What would it be?
Well, I mean, we fundraise every year, and we bring in a pretty good sum of money, but it seems like we spend it every year too. So our needs with equipment these athletes like to have nice stuff when they come here. They're proud of Yavapai College, so we like to get them a lot of gear and different things. And so that's kind of where we spend our money. We spend our money on travel gear. We spend our money on maybe some equipment that we need on the field. So to bring in some extra money for those things, maybe we go on an extra trip or something like that if we can bring in some fundraising money. So we do need the help. We're very well funded with the college, but there's always extra things that each program needs. So for those reasons, yeah, we could definitely need some supporters out there, Brad.
You bet. Ryan, what about you?
I only get one thing. Gosh, this is tough.
Yeah, one thing, that's it.
Well, of course, cash money then, if
Yeah,
we're just
right,
talking
right.
about I mean, support is, if we don't fundraise, we don't have support of alumni, family, friends, then we're in big trouble in order to compete. It seems to be the same recurring things every year: uniform needs and equipment needs and operational needs as far as travel, is what Doug said. I'm a big believer in facility. I think facility goes a long way for fan experience. We're trying to get chair back seats for fans. We're trying to get new turf behind home plate for players. We use the new turf behind home plate because we hit so much and we're on the field so much that grass gets chewed up. So with all those former floods and all the years, that stuff's been down probably 10 years now. It's time to rebuild that stuff.
Right.
So I've got another list of about 100 things. So
You only
those
get
gifts
one.
and kinds are about it. But their support's always appreciated.
Right.
Yeah, and I think with you, Brad, we've talked about getting the clubhouse down there for the girls so they could have something to call their own next to their field, and that's something that we really need to fundraise for. That would be a neat thing for us. And then the other thing that we don't talk about is scholarship money.
Right.
And again, we're funded well, but you can never have enough scholarship money. So anybody out there that wants to maybe donate to any one of our programs for some scholarship, maybe in the business field or engineering or whatever the case may be, boy, that would be a plus for us too, to be able to bring in another athlete with some scholarship
Absolutely.
money. Yeah.
Well, and we can find those opportunities on www.goroughriders.com. There is a donate page there, and any support that we can get is certainly appreciated. It's gone a long way for us this year. We've done a great job in softball and baseball. We're looking forward to next year already, although we're still in May. But it's going to be a good summer. It's going to be a good next year, and we're looking forward to it. So thank you for joining us, Rough Rider Nation. We look forward to seeing you. Check us out on www.goroughriders.com. Check our Rough Rider Facebook page out, our Twitter page. And as always, we always say this: go Rough Riders.